And his work practicing for project. I will give a brief history of where we've got to where it started, which actually started with an article in The Guardian about Satish, but I'll tell you a bit more about that later. I don't think I've even ever told Satish this. So let me welcome Michael, Michael Schwamberger, who is an ex-abbot of France. Then if I can ask you all to mute your microphones, we will enjoy a 15-minute meditation before inviting Satish to offer his talk. I bow out and invite Michael to the microphone.
Dear Satish, dear Thai, dear Sangha, we're going to start with a short guided meditation. So you're going to find a stable, comfortable posture. So this guided meditation, it's mostly focused on grounding our awareness in our body, coming into the body very gently. So we can start with feeling our body seated on the chair, on the cushion, wherever it is that you are seated. Maybe we can take a couple of longer and deeper in-breaths in order for our awareness to very gently land in the body as our focus moves inward instead of outside, or instead of the screen. Our focus, our attention, our awareness moves inside to start to feel this body. And the most simple representation, which is sensations, feelings, noticing the length of my back, noticing the length of each arm, noticing the sensations of my hands, where they are placed, and at the same time noticing any area of tension that can be alleviated and gently alleviated by relaxing. So if my jaw is slightly tight, I can relax my jaw. I can relax my forehead. Maybe bring a very gentle, timid smile on the lips, nothing forced. It's very gentle. Relaxing the abdomen, the belly especially, so I can receive in-breath and so that is happy to release the out-breath. Very gently we just notice the general sensations of our body. And the most simple manifestation, tingling, warmth, temperature, pressure, contact. And then allowing the in-breath and out-breath to harmonize the body. The in-breath brings oxygen, brings energy. The out-breath allows for letting go, for relaxation. Receiving and giving. I receive this in-breath. I offer this out-breath. Allowing yourself to be generous in your in-breath. Allow the in-breath to expand. And allowing yourself to be generous with the out-breath in the way that you release, you let go. Let go of the past, of the future, just to be here in silence for a few moments together. Noticing the heartbeat, which is something that we all share. We all have a heartbeat. So we're connecting with the heartbeat of everyone in this meeting, in this gathering. It's the heartbeat of the world that is alive within us and around us. Life that is precious. We can go slightly deeper within the silence, listening to our inner world, sensations, feelings, the breathing. Noticing the quality of our body, the feeling tone of our body, of our mind. Becoming a little bit more comfortable within ourselves. And noticing the sensation of that being comfortable, quiet, and more peaceful. Noticing the sensations. Breathing in, I'm aware of my sensations of the body. Breathing out, I relax. Noticing if there is any activity in the mental realm. It's just part of the whole inner landscape. No need to worry about it or change or fix. You just include it as part of the inner landscape as we trust the silence, the stillness. I apologize for the clock in the kitchen. I didn't realize it was so loud. I'm not sure if you heard it, but anyway, it's part of the inner landscape, perhaps. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. And I would just like to say, because I've never shared this with Satish, but normally when I say how I've ended up in this spiritual family. I think somebody is still unmuted, so it's echoing a little. But I always say it was a visit to Plum Village with Colin Hodges, head teacher of a school that Satish founded, that started this journey I've been on for goodness knows how many years now, more than 30. But it was actually an article in The Guardian, when I think back, that really started it, because Satish founded a little school in Devon, and I was working in PR. And one of my jobs every week was to read through all the newspapers and to see whether there were any articles about food. And I saw a cow called Hazel is giving milk to the children in this school. And a big picture, I think it was of Satish, that said, "A barefoot march to a dream in Dorset." And that was in July 1984. And reading through the article, it determined me that I was going to leave the big city and move to Devon and hope that my children would be accepted at the small school, which they were. So Satish, it wasn't Colin that introduced me to or started my journey towards being a student of Thich Nhat Hanh. It was you with that article that made me come to Devon and meet Colin at the school. So we've come a real long circle to be together on this screen this evening, and I welcome you so warmly. And we're all looking forward very much to hearing you give a talk in support of this wonderful project we're engaged in to establish a lasting legacy for Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings in the UK. So dear Satish, please unmute yourself and we will listen to your talk. Bowing out.
Okay. Thank you, Terry, for this wonderful introduction. I did not know that. I did not know that that article in the Guardian that inspired you to come to Devon and so on. Wonderful story, and it is my great pleasure to be part of this new project, starting Being Peace Practice Center in Britain. It is a wonderful project. Plum Village has been a great inspiration to me, to my wife, to many of my friends. I have been there with great pleasure. And it has been my pleasure to know Thai for many years. I originally met him in 1969. Can you imagine? He used to live in Paris at that time, and he had just been exiled, and he was part of the peace movement at that time. And so ever since, I have known him and have been inspired by him, particularly his poetry, his talks, and his engaged Buddhism. And Plum Village is a kind of magnet, attracting many, many people from around the world. But it's getting very big. And, sometimes there are 1,000 people there. I think we need many, many more plum villages around the world so that people don't have to all travel to one place and they can have that practice center wherever they are. So it'd be wonderful to have one such center of practice, being peace in practice in Britain. So this is why I said to Terry, I've been my pleasure and joy to participate in this event and urge people to support this particular new center in Britain. Practice is a very important word. Everybody believes in good things. Whoever you ask, they believe in compassion, they believe in kindness, they believe in peace. Even military and people who run Pentagon and many other military organizations like NATO and so on, they also say we are in military for peace. So everybody believes in peace, but it's the practice which makes the difference. They believe in peace and practice war. It's a contradiction. And so practicing is very different from just believing. Anybody can believe in something. Everybody can believe. So starting a center where people can earn a knowledge and learn how to practice, how to meditate, how to be simple life. Now, peace for me is a very important word. In the Indian tradition, in the Buddhist tradition, as well as Hindu tradition and Jain tradition, we say, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The word Shanti in Sanskrit means peace. And we say Shanti 3 times. First of all, may there be peace within myself. I have to be peace before I can make peace, before I can establish peace, before I can work for peace. I have to be peaceful. I have to have peace in my heart. I have to make peace with myself. Quite often we are at war with ourselves. We condemn ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We don't appreciate ourselves. What a gift our body is. What a gift our life is. With this, through this body, I can serve. I can think. I can imagine. I can love. I can build. I can grow. I can make. So much I can do. And yet we don't appreciate our bodies. And we don't appreciate our own capacity to be courageous, to be imaginative, to be creative, to be spiritual. The potential of a human person is often not realized. And so, first time when we say peace, Shanti, we have to make peace with ourselves, realize who we are, be who we are, and love ourselves and grow into our potential. So that's a peace with ourselves. Then we have to make peace with the world, with all people, irrespective of their nationality, their religion, their culture, their political philosophy, or their economic system. Whatever they are, you are communist, I make peace with you. You are capitalist, I have peace with you. You are rich, I make peace with you. You are poor, I make peace with you. You are Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jain, whoever you are, I make peace with you. Peace with everybody. Human dignity comes before national sovereignty. So in the name of flag, in the name of country, in the name of nationality, we go and kill each other. There is no cause good enough for which I can kill anyone. No cause. There may be good causes for which I can give my life. For good cause, I'm prepared to die. But for no cause, I'm prepared to kill. That's a peace in the world, peace with the world. Whatever your difference of opinion, whatever your difference of nationality, whatever your difference of anything else, whether it's a Gaza war, the Ukraine war, and before that, Iraq war, Syria war, Afghanistan war, Vietnam war, Second World War, First World War, war between India and China, war between India and Pakistan, war everywhere. All this history of war. And humanity never learns that in the end, you don't achieve anything. What has America achieved by having tens of thousands of American soldiers killed in Vietnam? Vietnam is still ruled by the communists. What was the point of that war? Afghanistan, America was there for 20 years. What did they achieve? They're still ruled by Taliban. What did they achieve in Iraq? War achieves nothing. What are they going to achieve in Iraq? Nothing. What are they going to achieve in Gaza? Nothing. In the end, we have to learn to live in peace with our neighbors. Whoever you are my neighbor. And the Christian teaching of Jesus Christ fundamentally is love your neighbor. Whoever you are, your neighbor is a Muslim or a Christian or a Palestinian or a Ukrainian or a Russian or a Jew, whoever your neighbor is, love your neighbor. That's a beautiful teaching. But Christians don't practice. This is why we need a practice center in Britain and any other country. Because Christians say, love your neighbor, love your enemy, and then go to war. American president is a famous Catholic person, and yet going to war. And so making peace with the whole world, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of religion, irrespective of any differences, we make peace in the world. That's the second peace, Shanti. And the third peace we make is a peace with nature. At the moment, humanity is almost like being at war with nature. The way we are cutting down our rainforest in many countries, particularly I was recently in Brazil, in the Amazon, a beautiful forest. But every day, people are cutting down the rainforest. And rainforest is the lungs of the planet Earth. And yet we don't recognize it. Just for profit, for money. Nature has become a means to an end. The end of economic growth, end of profitability, end of consumerism. That has become the aim, the end goal. And nature has become only a means to an end. Nature has just become a resource for the economy. So you can kill nature, you can destroy forests. The way we put our animals in factory farms, just imagine how cruel that is, that we keep cows and pigs and chickens in their tens of thousands in one factory farm, and they never see the light of the day. And they say that we are Hindus or Muslims or Christians or Buddhists or whatever religion they profess to be. No practice, just the idea that we are Hindus or Buddhists or Christians or whatever they are, just an idea. And so making peace with nature, respecting nature, and not seeing nature as inferior to humans. At the moment, we think that nature is out there. The trees and the mountains, the animals, the birds are nature. Humans are not nature. Humans are separate from nature. That is a fundamental mistake. One humanity and one earth is a fundamental formula for peace. One humanity, whether you are Christian or Buddhist or Hindu or Russian or American or Chinese or black or white or whoever you are human being. In the same way, our planet is our home. Whatever you may be in China or Russia or India or Europe or America or Africa, wherever you are on the planet Earth. This is why ecology, economy, eco is the Greek word for home. Whole planet is my home. That is the kind of making peace. Is the planet is my home. That's the making peace with nature. Cosmos is my country. The whole cosmos. Before I'm an Indian, I'm a cosmic person. The whole cosmos is my country. And whole planet Earth is my home. And the whole of humanity is my family. Whatever your background, you are a member of a human family. Humanity is our family. And nature is our religion. Nature is our nationality, actually. Nature is our nationality. Because the nature word means to be born. Natal. When your mother is pregnant, she has a prenatal check. After the birth of the baby, she has a postnatal check. So natal and nature come from the same etymological root. So natal means birth. Nature means birth. Anything is born is nature. So nature is our nationality. We are born in nature. We are nature. That's my nationality. And love is my religion. Love is our religion. That's a formula for peace. Before I'm a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jew, whatever religion you call your label, but all religions teach love. Like you can call different rivers like Thames or Ganges or Hudson or some other river name, but all rivers have water. Whatever the name you call it, what is in the river is the water. In the same way, whatever you call, whether Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, they all teach compassion, kindness, generosity, and love. So love is our religion. Then you can be a Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Christian, whatever you are. But this generosity of mind, that's a peace. So Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace with myself, peace with all people, and peace with nature. That is the practice of peace. That's the being peace. That's the practice of being peace. And therefore, it's a beautiful name for your Sangha and for your center in Britain. So it's a kind of being peace practice. Being peace in practice. That's a wonderful, wonderful name. And so I would like to say, yes, you have my full support and full blessing. And I would urge all my listeners and any of your friends and your colleagues or your family or anybody you know who is prepared to able to help and support and donate for this Being Peace Practice Center in Britain, so that we can have a wonderful a new plum village, another plum village in Britain. That'll be marvelous. That'll be wonderful. So that is what I would like to support and urge you to come together and create a center for peace. So may peace prevail in the world, and may we bring an end to all the wars and conflicts and a kind of subjugation and domination of nature and people, and we can all live in. It's possible. Peace is possible. Peace is not impossible. We had wars between, say, France and Germany for a long, long time, and they are best of friends. You don't need a visa to go from France to Germany or Germany to France. They're all part of European Union. The same way I'm saying that in the Middle East, all these countries like Iran and Iraq and Saudi Arabia and Syria and Jordan and Israel and Palestine, they can all be like European Union. They don't have to have visa. They can trade together, and they can have their separate nations, and yet they can be together. There's no need for fight. You achieve nothing from the war. So peace is prosperity. Prosperity comes in peacetime. And a peace is the time when we can celebrate our life, we can look after our family, we can have our friends, we can be painting, we could dancing, we could be singing, we could be growing our food. In peace, we can do everything. In war, they are all traumatized. So we all talk about traumas and traumas, personal traumas and so on. Peace is the answer to all our traumas. So if you want to heal trauma, peace is the healing, a healing medicine for your soul, for your mind, for your spirit. So Being Peace Practice Center is a beautiful name, and I totally endorse it and support it and urge you to support it. Thank you for giving me this chance to share some of my ideas with you. They are not anything new. Those who have heard Thai and read his books and been to Plum Village, they are all familiar with these ideas about peace. So what I'm sharing is nothing new for you, but just to remind you that what we have been learning and what we have been taught by our great teachers like Thich Nhat Hanh. And so just to reminding you about this triple peace, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May peace be in our heart, may peace be in the world, and may peace be in the universe. That kind of triple peace, and practicing it is a wonderful thing. Thank you, Terry, and thank you all of you for listening to me and giving me the chance. I'll be very happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Satish. And I will just say that we also have some trustees of the practice centre here and other friends of the centre. So if there are any questions that people have that you would like one of us to answer, then all you have to do is ask, and one of us will come forward. So if you would like to ask Satish a question, then I invite you to use the react button at the bottom of your screen, and then use the raise hand, and then you will go straight to the top of our first screen, because there are many of you for us to keep an eye on. So please use the react button and put a raise hand, and then we will see who there is that would like to ask a question. Really? No one?
No one ask a question. What is this?
No one? Is that true? Is there no one that would like to take this opportunity to ask dear Satish or any members of the Practice Center team?
All our listeners are enlightened beings. They don't have any questions. They have got all the answers. There's a hand rising there. Yes, please unmute yourself, Patsy, and ask your question.
Hello, thank you very much for an inspiring talk. I'm just wondering, as somebody who is completely new to Plum Village's webinars, how can somebody who like me, who has limited physical capabilities and limited finance, how can I help being peace be established in Britain?
Good question. Good question. Yeah. We all have some incapacity and incapability and some kind of problem, psychological, physical, emotional, anything. So please don't think too much about your condition as being something unique. We all suffer from something, one thing or the other. So thank you for asking that question. First of all, having a positive thought is a great help. Just think that may a center like this in Britain happen. Just that positive thinking, that prayer, the power of prayer, power of positive thinking is very important. We have forgotten. We think in our modern scientific world, we think that what cannot be measured does not exist. And you can't measure the power of prayer, and therefore it has no meaning. But I don't accept that. I think the power of positive thinking, the power of prayer, the power of good wishes, the power of gratitude, that's very important. So just first of all, you just wish good things in your life and good things for the practice center and good things for the world. Positive thinking. And then thinking starts with the speaking. Positive words. We forget the power of words, like we forget the power of prayer. We also forget the power of words. Say something in your capacity which will be encouraging, inspiring, healing, touching, moving, and all that. And so use your words. Anybody you are speaking to, anybody, your friends, your colleagues, your family, anybody visiting you, just speak to them about peace center, this practice center, or talk about Plum Village, talk about Buddhist ideas and the Thai teachings. So that's the kind of so thinking, prayer is in the mind, and the words. Those are two very important, and anybody can do it. Anybody can do it, and you can do it. And then, of course, every day, reading books by Thich Nhat Hanh. A very simple book is a love letter to planet Earth, Love Letter to the Earth by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's a very, very good book. And Being Peace is a very good book. And there are many, many wonderful books. There are something like 80, 90 books that Thich Nhat Hanh has written. So reading those books, sharing those books aloud. Please read it not only for yourself, but get a few friends, 4 or 5 or 3 people together and read once a week and then share those ideas. That's being peace at home. You don't have to go if you are not capable physically. You don't have to go somewhere to Plum Village or some peace center or something. You can be at home and make your home a peace practice center in your own home. So there are many things you can do. Don't have to just think about one thing which everybody can do. Everybody can do something. And so that way, think peace, talk about peace, read peace, spread the peace as much as you can. And that's all you can. They are all activists in our own way. And have a hope, have optimism. Without optimism, you cannot be activist. And so you can be a journalist maybe, but not an activist. And so in order to bring peace in the world, you have to be an activist. And we can be activists by being optimists, have active hope, and that will be fine. Thank you. Okay, next question. There are two hands there. Who was the first? Olga.
Satish, I would like to invite people. I think this would help with the previous question, that we offer online every day of the week except Sunday, every evening at 7 o'clock, an opportunity for people to join a webinar for free to practice the peace meditation that was created by Plum Village elders. So every night there's an opportunity to join with others to simply listen to the meditation and practice. And Thai has often said that when more than one person is engaged together like that, then the energy of peace that we can create is greatly amplified. So I just wanted to interrupt to let people know that they can find out about that on our website. And I will see if I can put the link to those evenings in the chat for this evening. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you. So let's go to Olga. Please unmute yourself and ask your questions. Olga.
Dear Satish, thank you very much. So I'm Olga. I live in Amsterdam, Holland, and I'm a student of Thai since 2000. And I wrote a song about peace, and Brother Fab Lin accompanied me on the cello during a retreat. And I really like to share it with you. And I really, so singing is my passion. And I have a dream that a lot of people sing about peace. I wrote a lyric, a song about peace is a seed. And I would really like to sing it for you. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Did you know, dear friend, peace is a seed, Thai told me, and it will grow when I give it water with all my love and my compassion. It will grow, 'cause peace in ourselves is peace in the world. 'Cause peace in ourselves is peace in the world. Will you join me, dear beloved? Take a chance on your peace. Give it a try, and it will grow when you give it water with all your love and your compassion. It will grow, 'cause peace in ourselves is peace in the world. 'Cause peace in ourselves is peace in the world. So let's water our seeds of peace with all our love and compassion. Our peace will grow. Thai told us so. 'Cause peace in ourselves is peace in the world. 'Cause peace in ourselves is peace in the world. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a lovely, lovely song. And please make it into a peace anthem. They call a peace anthem. Thank you very much. What a beautiful song.
You can find it on the app. It is on the Plum Village app.
Okay.
And Brother Fab Lin is playing the cello on it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's go to next question. Bob Picope, please unmute yourself. and ask your question.
Yeah, thanks, Sasha. That was a really interesting talk. My question is we've about a dozen monasteries, practice centers around the world. Have we sort of got a model of how the one I think it's going to be in England, rather than Scotland or Wales. Have we got a sort of model that of all those dozen practice centres, how it will be organised and operate? And I'm aware there's a great difference between the Plum Village centre, practice centre, monastery, I'm not quite sure, and especially our American cousins, which I think they have three centres in the US. So I'm intrigued how it's all how it's all planned, but it may well change and develop into something completely special. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, as you say, when people come together, gather together, live together, they will design and evolve. We don't have to copy any model. Diversity should be wonderful, and diversity is great. So diversity of models, I prefer rather than copying and then just following one model. I think the new center should develop its own model. But the basic principles are the same. The principles are that you begin your day with meditation. And the meditation is a kind of centering yourself and a kind of having a kind of moment of mindfulness. Meditation and mindfulness, that is a very, very important part. So in how you do it, you can be in different centers, but act mindfully, speak mindfully, and live mindfully and heartfully and consciously, so that your whole meditation is not only when you sit down quietly and meditate. That's a good meditation, good practice, but meditation is a way of life, living mindfully, living heartfully, living consciously. Every word you speak, every thought you think, every action you make is mindful action, mindful thinking, and mindful speaking. That is meditation. So that should be the principle of any center. And then, of course, in practically speaking, I think people should participate in cooking, in gardening, in doing things by your hand. So it's a head, heart, and hands together, not just in your mind and mindfulness, but also heartfulness and also handfulness and a bodyfulness. And so this way, I hope that your new center will be practicing what you are preaching, which means you are sharing your food, you are eating together, you are cooking together, you are walking together, even gardening together. If you can run some meditation courses for 1 week or 2 weeks or 5 days or weekend, whatever, you come together. That's the kind of model we have at Schumacher College, education of head, heart, and hands. And so that will be my hope. But once the center has started, things will evolve. You cannot fix in advance. Rigidity is not very good. It's a flexibility and evolution. That is should be the principle. So I hope that will be the case. Thank you. Let's go to Matthew Savin. What is your question, Matthew?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm French, donc so I speak not very well. I want to say I thank you for all that you give, all the love that you spread. You are a friend, a father, a brother to me, so I love you. To return to the theme of the evening, which person has inspired you the most for peace?
Well, I didn't quite get the question. What was the question?
Which person has inspired you the most for peace?
Much for peace. Peace.
Which person has inspired you most?
Okay, which person has inspired you most? Okay. Apart from Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a very great inspiration to many of us, the most inspiration I received was from Martin Luther King. As you may know, that I walked from India to America 8,000 miles for peace. And after walking from India to Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Russia, Moscow, Poland, Germany, Belgium, France, England, and I went to America and concluded my 8,000 miles journey in America. And after that, I met Martin Luther King. And he was, I would say, an embodiment of peace, an embodiment of love, an embodiment of compassion. He was struggling like Mahatma Gandhi before him and many others, but he was struggling against racism. And he was fighting like a soldier of peace. And yet, in his heart, no animosity, no revenge, no anxiety, no fear, total peace. There was a man struggling. He was put in jail 29 times. Can you imagine? 29 times he was imprisoned. And yet, he has no idea of revenge, no idea of anger, no fear. He loved everybody. So that was my great inspiration. And it was my great privilege, the privilege of life, you can say, that I had the opportunity of being in the company of Martin Luther King for 1 hour in his house in Atlanta, Georgia. So that would be my answer to your question, that he was a great example. And I learned from him how to be in peace and with peace and practice peace, even when things are going wrong and things are not in your favorable conditions. Even at that, that's the time of test. When everything is fine, everything is good, everything is just, everything is nice, and you are peaceful, that's okay. That's easy. But when things are not right, when things are going wrong, when there are problems, there are difficulties, there's racism, there's sexism, there's imperialism, there's colonialism, there are many, many other problems. At that time, you can be at peace, and from the strength of peace, you speak about all the injustice in the world, and ecology in the world, or environmentalism in the world. All that you speak from your heart and your courage and for your energy, without being angry, without being hateful, and without being in despair. That is the example I learned from Martin Luther King. Thank you. So maybe we have another question. Is there some hands? Roberta, you have any question? Please ask.
Hello. Thank you very much for your speech. It was very...
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Fine. My question to you is this. Sorry for my English.
No problem.
What's the most important feature, characteristic for a person to be considered a peaceful person?
Okay. The peaceful person avoids judgment, right and wrong judgment of person. You can say systems are wrong, colonialism is wrong, imperialism is wrong, racism is wrong, apartheid is wrong. All those systems are fine, but you don't judge people because we are all part of the system. And therefore, without judgment, without discrimination, you love everyone and have peace with everyone. Even if you are working with your opponents, like Mahatma Gandhi was working with the British. And the British were, in a way, you can say, that were the colonials in South Africa. He was practicing peace in the apartheid regime. And so even then, you have a love in your heart. Loving a good person whom you like and you agree with is easy. But a real peaceful person can love even those with whom you don't agree and those who are exploiting you. So from love, you transform. And so a characteristic of a peaceful person is be no judgmental, and no discrimination, and not criticism of the people. Even the person you don't like, even that person may have something good in them. Just look at that little good and enlarge that little good and make that good more dominant and more prominent and more important, and enlarge that group and enlarge that good quality. And by enlarging that good quality, you will transform your opponent into your friend. And so, without criticism, without judgment, if you can accept other people as they are, who they are, and not be my way is right, your way is wrong, I'm right, you are wrong, judging other people, that does not bring you peace. You are always in turmoil. You're always judging, and therefore you're never at peace. Acceptance of other people as they are. Accept them. Don't judge, but accept. If your expectation is not bringing peace. You expect other people to be this, that, or the other, and they don't fulfill your expectation, then you are disappointed, and you are angry, and you are upset, and you lose your peace. And therefore, the characteristic of a peaceful person is acceptance, not expectation, no judgment, no criticism, but transformation through love. That's a characteristic.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Okay. Anyone has another question?
Satish, I'm sorry to jump in, but I can't put my hand up because I don't have.
Okay, Julie, yes, ask your question.
And I put it in the chat, but you probably didn't have a chance to see it. But
no, I didn't see it. So can you ask?
Don't worry. I'll just ask you. But I've loved some of your work previously on the whole motto: "You are, therefore I am."
That's right.
I feel it's fairly fundamental to this whole concept of being peace. So I wondered if you could share with us on this call a little bit more of your thoughts on that motto, because it feels very
yes. Thank you for asking that question. This book that you mentioned, "You Are, Therefore I Am," is a book I wrote to say that the Cartesian, there was a philosopher in France called Descartes, René Descartes, and he had this idea: I think, therefore I am. So that's kind of, I thought that is a very self-centered idea, that I think, therefore I am, and I don't acknowledge any relationships. And so I wrote this book called "You Are, Therefore I Am." I cannot exist by myself if there are no farmers producing food for me, if there are no gardeners producing vegetables for me, if there is no sun giving me energy, if there is no rain giving me water, if there are no parents, I will not be born. If the builders did not build my house, I will not be here. I am dependent on hundreds and hundreds of people who support me, and I support them. So there's a kind of mutuality, reciprocity, togetherness, interdependence, interconnectedness, interrelatedness. That is what Thich Nhat Hanh called interbeing. So you are, therefore I am. Earth is, therefore I am. Forests are, therefore I am. I breathe, therefore I am. I eat food, therefore I am. My parents were, therefore I am. I am a bundle of relationships. Nothing can exist by itself. Not even an atom, not even an electron, not even a proton can exist by itself. Existence comes only when two things come together in relationship. And my body is a community. It's not just individual body. It's a community of billions of bacteria. Just imagine what my body is. My body is a temple for my soul, a temple for my spirit, a temple for my imagination, for my poetry, for my art, for my music. That the woman sang the song that comes from her mouth and her body. So we are made of each other, and even our body is a community. So that is a kind of idea that we are a community We are a community of body, the community, our family, the community, our village, the community, our country, the community, our land, the community. So the idea of community and being together and mutuality and reciprocity, that is the main message of my book. You are, therefore I am. I cannot exist by myself. I don't exist because I think in my head, therefore I exist. I exist because the food, the water, and the fire, and the sun, and the parents, and everything else. So that's the relationship is the key. And that's a kind of interbeing. You have to shift from ego to eco. You change from G to C. Ego separates. I, separation. Eco is connects. Relationship. Eco means home. In a home, you have relations with your parents, your children, your husband, your wife, your brothers, your sisters, your guests, your friends, they come. So home is the community. And so eco means home in the Greek language. And from where it comes economy, which is management of home, and ecology, the knowledge of home. So shifting from ego to eco, that is you are, therefore I am. And if people are interested, I recommend that you read that book. It's a book a few years ago I wrote it, and you can read it. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, let's move to next question. To Heather. Heather, what is your question, Heather?
Dear Ty, dear Sangha, thank you to everybody for all that you're doing towards the Being Peace Centre. I wonder if anybody would share ideas of how we can ensure that people from diverse backgrounds are welcomed and feel confident to be part of our Sangha and the Being Peace Centre.
Yes. Yes, I think your question is very good. And I think this center in France, the Plum Village itself, is a beautiful example. Beautiful example of ethnic groups there, many nationalities, many religions. You rise above all discrimination and judgment. And you welcome everybody, poor or rich, black or white, men or women, children or adults, whoever you are a human being. So welcome everybody without discrimination, without judgment, with the basis of a new center. And so this center is going to welcome everybody. It's not discriminating, not saying only the white people can come, or only the rich people can come, or only such and such people can come. No discrimination. Anybody who is seeking peace and practicing peace. That's the kind of idea. So anybody seeking peace and harmony and a friendship and a kind of community, they're all welcome. That will be the idea. And that's a Plum Village. That's a good example already. And Thich Nhat Hanh was very, very inclusive. Nobody excluded. Everybody's included. This is what I do at Schumacher College. Everybody's included. And so I can assure you that if you are following the principles of Thich Nhat Hanh, it will be a very inclusive center and not exclusive and not discriminatory. Thank you. Okay, so let's next go to question 2. Leo Davis. What is your question, Leo?
Good evening, dear Sangha, and good evening.
Thank you.
My question is, does protesting ever work? And if protesting does work, what kind of protest works best?
What kind of process?
No, protesting.
Protesting.
Yeah,
what kind of protest works best? Okay. Yeah. Protest. I mean, we have a wonderful examples in the history. And I mentioned Martin Luther King. He was a great protester. There was a bus boycott. And they said, we will not ride in the bus which discriminates against the black people. And so that was a protest. Mahatma Gandhi was protesting when government made a law that you cannot make salt unless you pay tax. So Mahatma Gandhi went and made salt and got arrested and put in jail. So protest with peace and love in your heart is not to inflict suffering on your opponent, but to accept suffering upon yourself. So Mahatma Gandhi took suffering upon himself by going to jail. Nelson Mandela, he was protesting against the apartheid, but he did not inflict suffering on anybody else. He received imprisonment for 27 years. And I visited his prison in near Cape Town. And so real protest is you protest not out of anger, not out of fear, not out of anxiety, not out of judgment of the people, because we are all human beings and we have all good and bad aspects in our lives. You are protesting against the system and not against people. And you are not inflicting suffering on other people, but you are putting suffering upon yourself. If you act out of love, then your protest will be very effective and very impressive. And even your opponent will see, wow, this is a kind and loving and a wonderful person. How can I ignore them? So when Mahatma Gandhi was put in jail because he was protesting against this salt tax, the judge was so kind and he said to him, Mr. Gandhi, I am sorry that I have to follow the law and send you to jail. I'm very sorry. I hope that our government will release you very soon and change something. And Mahatma Gandhi said, please don't worry. I'm very happy to go to jail. I'll go to prison as a as a bridegroom goes to wedding chamber. And that was his generosity. So you can protest with love, not protest with anger and fear and anxiety and hatred. Protest, yes, protesting is good, but two things: protest out of love for humanity and even out of love of your opponent. So Mahatma Gandhi had love in his heart even for the British, and Nelson Mandela had love in his heart even for the white people who were practicing apartheid. And when Nelson Mandela became independent and free out of jail, he said, no revenge. All the white people who exploited us, killed our black people, even them, we don't hate, and we'll forgive them. So there was a Truth and Reconciliation Commission established by Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. And so that is the kind of example of protest, that you don't have a hate in your heart. You have a love in your heart, even for your opponent. And Martin Luther King the same. So those are the good examples where you can protest with love and not with hatred and despair.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are welcome. Okay. So I think we are nearly coming to our closing time. Any last question? One more question possible? Otherwise, we will come to a conclusion. Anybody else? I think all the questions are answered. Okay. Okay, so Terry, where are you now?
I'm here now, Satish.
Okay, so I think we have answered all the questions. Thank you very much, Terry, for giving me the wonderful opportunity to speak to this wonderful audience of Sangha. Thank you.
Thank you, Satish. And I will invite Rahina to unmute herself and offer you thanks on behalf of our community.
Thank you.
Are you there, Rahina?
Yes, I am. Or should I say, you are there, therefore I am here too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dear Satish, on behalf of everyone here, I want to extend our deepest thanks for your profoundly energizing words. Having had the privilege of sharing panels with you before, I'm always deeply moved by your insights and especially your energy. In the face of today's planetary climate crisis, wars, your words and messages are especially resonant. As Thich Nhat Hanh so beautifully said, there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. Yes. Your reflections on nurturing peace within ourselves, with others, and with nature echo his teachings of interbeing. But being South African also echoes for me, Ubuntu. We are, Ubuntu. Therefore I am. And I think it's such a good reminder to us all that we and our well-being is interconnected with one another, and that the earth that we are all part of, we are, therefore I am. And your passion, your energy provides us with hope and a reminder that each moment is a change and a chance for us to make peace with ourselves, with the world around us, and with one another. So much gratitude for all that you do in helping us navigate these times with hope and action. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting our Being Peace Center.
Thank you. Thank you. This was my pleasure, and thank you for your kind words.
Dear friends, we have a little time left, and I just feel that I would like to invite one sound of the bell to mark Satish leaving us and us just finishing off our evening with a little bit of information about where we are with our Practice Center project. Dear Thai, dear community, and dear new friends, I was present in 1997 when Thich Nhat Hanh first asked us to establish a practice center in this country. And that might seem as though we've been very slow to do this, but we were a really small community then, with very little expertise in that kind of project. But we did manage to eventually buy a little cottage, which was one step, just one step on the journey towards a national centre. And as we began to use the cottage and become more known, more and more people joined us. We now have over 100 sanghas in this country, groups that practice together, and probably even more that we might not know about. Those are ones that are registered on our website. And if anybody is new here to our community, they can go on our website, plumvillage.uk, and you can find out where there are groups near you. So gradually we grew, and ironically, we need to thank the pandemic for really being the catalyst towards our community growing very, very much more over the last few years. And then around 2021, we realized that we had a really strong team of people with all sorts of expertise and skill and energy to put into really being able to establish a lasting legacy for Thai's teachings in the UK. And then we had the wonderful news that Plum Village Monastics were now willing to support us and even share in designing how the project would, how the practice centre will work, and how that it will progress gradually over the years into becoming a multifold sangha with monastics and lay people. But that's in the future. But currently, I'm going to invite our, but not too distant future. I remember when Thai first said that he wanted a practice centre, that I made a vow to myself. I was a very new practitioner, that would be my practice until it happened. And I had a little bit of fundraising experience through working for Satish's school all those years ago. So I offered to support, and I am really convinced that now this will happen in my lifetime. At one point, I was advised by Sister Annabelle that it could take 100 years, you know. which was quite liberating, really. But I don't think it is going to take that long now. I can see it happening within the next year or two at the most. And so I invite our project director, Nick Kenrick, who is based in Plum Village. He's our man on the mothership, as it were. And he can give you a brief outline of where we are at today. And I'm sure in the chat we will put any ways that you can donate or support us in other ways by looking on our Being Peace Practice Centre website. So thank you so much for being here, everybody. And here's Nick Kenrick to give you a brief update of where we are at the moment with our centre.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Terry, and thank you everyone for being here. And I'll just say a few things about this. I think the thing that leaps out is what a year of transformation this is. It's hard to kind of get that across, how strong the energy has been this year. If we look back just 12 months ago, we have around 4 times as much funding to call on in building this centre. We have a team of around 30 people who are contributing to this on a weekly basis. There's an experienced property team who are looking at places every month. And if you look at the website, you'll see there's close to 1,000 people who've put in support for this project, and from over 25 countries. And there was this lovely question earlier on, I think from Patsy, sort of, well, what can we do? If we feel we don't have much, if we don't, our health is not so good. And I feel Sister Tamoy answered this question for us when we interviewed her on the project in March. And it's the line, if we go as drops of water, we can't achieve very much. But when we put all our drops of water, we become this river, and it's the river that changes things. And this project exists where it is because, even 20, 25, 27 years ago, where people couldn't see how to make this happen, they kept the idea alive. They shared it. They kept the aspiration alive. And built it. And that's why we are where we are. So never underestimate that power of cultivating intention, sharing positively around this. In a very practical way, you will see if you look on our website, there is a huge map of where support is coming from. And you'll see there are close to 1,000 people on this map now who've supported from all around the world. So even just putting one drop in, putting £1 in, putting £5 in, putting whatever you can, and you can leave a message. You can click on any of these dots, and you can see messages to support that people have left, and that is so meaningful because it shows this is a giant river. This is a effort, and that is what is making this happen. So always we look to keep planting seeds. And for myself, my background was, first of all, in foreign affairs, working on the challenge of terrorism in modern times, working on the war in Iraq, and then in psychotherapy in our health service. And in both of those environments, the core thing that had gone wrong in these environments was the community. There wasn't a way for the community to do things together. But when communities break down, there's so much pain. So being peace is very much at the center of it. How do we learn together to create more beautiful communities? And it's always a learning journey. As Terry said, I've been in Plum Village for 3 years. And the community there every year is looking to deepen its insight of how do we become more inclusive? How do we more deeply understand what it is to be peace? And this project is an extension of that. Bob asked this question of how does it work? And one of the things I would say is we have so many friends in this space. So many of you will be familiar with centres like the Barn, like Gaia House in this country, and they're friends of ours. And they also help us think through how we organise the details of our policies, how we approach different challenges. And we have very, very close engagement from the brothers and sisters in Plum Village now. So this team that has come together this year has built from these amazing seeds 27 years ago that have been nurtured by so many people. And this year, the conditions have come together in this really quite magical way. And we have this 1 month left of this particular public fundraising campaign. And that doesn't mean it's going to be the end of all fundraising. There'll always be needs. But this final month tells us what is our budget for the property team as they look at different places. This final month makes a huge difference, a huge indicator to help us know what we can do. And thanks to some very generous support from one of our donors, we are able now to double all donations that have been made through the campaign. And so that will apply to this final month. So any support you add in at this time is amazing. And if it is just a message to send love and encouragement, that is huge in itself. So thank you for joining us this evening. And yeah, we hope you feel inspired about the project. We've put the link in the chat, so do follow it. And yeah, let's look forward to an exciting future to see how we go forward together.